Michelle. We've got Alan Gayle with us here, Senior Investment Strategist and Director of Asset Management for Ridgeworth Investments, and also Director of Asset Allocation. My apologies. Alan, good to have you on again. Michelle just mentioned Jackson Hole, and for a lot of our viewers, just to remind everybody, Jackson Hole is one of the big Fed meetings that happens here in the United States, where potentially Ben Bernanke and the rest of the crew, if you will, the board, may give us some more hints whether or not there's going to be this so-called money printing or quantitative easing. How big of a deal is this?
Well, in years past, we found Chairman Bernanke make some grand pronouncement about what he wants to do with policy. And so, as a result, there is a lot of anticipation, given that there's a lot of conversation about whether or not we will get more quantitative easing, whether or not we need more quantitative easing.
Do we?
And so, well, the bottom line for me is that no, I don't think that we do. I think that at the margin, any incremental steps that he has is going to have really a limited impact. But I think that his topic sounds pretty boring. And I think at the end of the day, though, we've got a FOMC meeting coming up in September, and there is a tradition, I guess, where the chairman is not going to try and front run the committee meeting coming up, because each member is expected to air his views, and I think a lot of the members are not going to want to feel like they're being pushed into a corner.
Well, also, you know, we spoke earlier by phone prior to this interview, and we talked a little bit about what to expect, and one of the things that we talked about was the election coming up. It may not pressure them to do things, but also won't pressure them to not do things as well. Basically, their hands are a little bit tied here. They don't want to come across like they're favoring one candidate or another.
Well, that's right. And if there's a very long history, is that the Fed likes to do the best that it can to keep itself distanced from the political process. Although, truthfully, I think they are very politically aware.
Okay, let's talk about something that's near and dear to all of us, and I assume many of our viewers around the world, and that's really making money, or I should say the lack of making money over the past couple of months, because it's been a very tough market. We saw the revisions to the economy, a slight revision to the second quarter GDP figures. The market said, I don't care, and we're in this strange situation in the last couple of months where it's been very quiet in the market, and I almost want to say it, but is it true that a lot of people are just not interested in the stock market at all? And I guess the question is, what's happening here?
I think that what you have is a combination of, right now I think the market is in the process of recalibrating its expectations. We had slowing growth, unexpected slowing growth in the second quarter. It seems to be carrying over. We've got really an effective recession in the EU. We've got slowing growth in China. All these things are causing analysts and investors to rethink how much growth they can get. And so that recalibration process, I think, has pushed a lot of investors to the sidelines.
What is it going to take to get investors interested into the stock market again?
I think it's going to require some renewed economic momentum. Right now, in the U.S., it's going to require better job growth, because that's really the driver of income and overall spending in the U.S. So we're also going to have to see, I think, that earnings estimates for next year are still relatively high. I think most investors think that they're too high and they're going to have to be reset. So again, it goes back to that recalibration theme that I have. And once the market is comfortable that expectations have been reset to a reasonable and achievable level, then I think this market can move higher, because valuations are quite reasonable.
All right. We're entering a critical period. September, October, a lot of big things happen. We're going to have you back again. Alan Gayle, thank you very much for your analysis on all these important topics.